Combine that with the utility. It might
Hey,
be what he
Leute.
needs, but they're just so aggressive into the box. Trip goes down, sent back to the lobby, but at least he got a good amount of points for his efforts.
Was
Pure
geht?
chaos down
Damit
below.
null
Meanwhile,
Firmenstart.
PKS and Fox have the
Heute mal wieder
freedom,
zu einem neuen
taking
Stream,
shots from
den
the
ihr lesen
sky.
könnt.
Nebs now
Fortnite,
up to 7 elims. iDrop has almost gone down, barely up as Nebs gets another one, gets 2. That's 9 elims to Nebs' name, and he is not finished.
Yeah, the med kit's beginning for iDrop. He's trying to get back into the game. Nebs, he doesn't have the opportunity to do the same, so he's going to be the disruptor in this end game, trying to save the life of his teammate. But a nice shot from Box over the top. The box is open. He goes around the top and drops both Nebs and iDrop back to the lobby and is on the hunt for the final elimination as he secures it and another victory royale.
Fox, are you kidding me? Back to back to back, 3-piece in the end game, making sure that nobody has the option to play the heal off. He said, I'm keeping my duo up. I'm just going to eliminate everybody. You know, we don't have to play the heal off. What a play from Fox.
He won the game 2 of the broadcast. Now he's winning a game 4 of the broadcast. Can they be stopped? They even have 5 eliminations at this point and pick up a couple of more. And even though he had the med kit, you can see it clearly in his inventory. I told you, Takata, they have had enough and they want to take the game into their own hands. But where do they land on the leaderboard after a couple of big wins? Well, only Adam could let us know.
Yes, well, I mean, in my opinion, wherever they're landing, whether they choose to land, it's working. Wherever you go, Box DKS, it is yours. I mean, we're seeing back-to-back victories here. I mean, not...
And they want to take the game into their own hands, but where do they land on the leaderboard after a couple of big wins? Well, only Adam could let us know.
Yes, well, I mean, in my opinion, wherever they're landing, whether they choose to land, it's working. Wherever you go, Box DKS...
Combine that with the utility. It might be what he needs, but they're just so aggressive into the box. Trip goes down, sent back to the lobby, but at least he got a good amount of points for his efforts.
Was
Pure
geht?
chaos down
Damit
below.
null
Meanwhile,
Firmenstart.
PKS and
Hallo,
Fox
hallo,
have the
hallo. Heute mal
freedom,
wieder zu einem neuen
taking
Hallo.
shots from the
Hallo, hallo, hallo. Lesen
sky.
könnt.
Nebs now
Fortnite,
up to 7 elims. iDrop has almost gone down, barely up as Nebs gets another one, gets 2. That's 9 elims to Nebs' name, and he is not finished.
Yeah, the med kit's beginning for iDrop. He's trying to get back into the game. Nebs, he doesn't have the opportunity to do the same, so he's going to be the disruptor in this end game, trying to save the life of his teammate. But a nice shot from Box over the top. The box is open. He goes around the top and drops both Nebs and iDrop back to the lobby and is on the hunt for the final elimination.
Hallo?
He's trying to get back into the game. Nebs, he doesn't have the opportunity to do the same, so he's going to be the disruptor in this end game, trying to save the into the box. Trip goes down, sent back to the lobby, but at least he got a good amount of points for his efforts.
Was
Pure
geht?
chaos down
Damit
below.
null
Meanwhile,
Firmenstart.
PKS and
Hallo,
Fox
hallo,
have the
hallo. Heute mal
freedom,
wieder zu einem neuen
taking
Hallo.
shots from the
Hallo, hallo, hallo. Lesen
sky.
könnt.
Nebs
Hallo.
now
Fortnite.
up to 7
Jetzt hört man mich
elims.
so
iDrop
leise.
has almost gone down, barely up as Nebs gets another one, gets 2. That's 9 elims to Nebs' name, and he is not
Warte
finished.
mal. Jetzt sollte man mich jetzt richtig laut hören, oder? Jetzt hat man mich richtig laut. Dann machen wir so. Hallo? Hallo, hallo, hallo. Hallo. Hört man mich so leise? Jetzt. Jetzt sollte man mich jetzt richtig laut hören, oder? Jetzt hört man mich richtig laut. Dann machen wir so. Hallo? Hallo, hallo, hallo. Hallo. So. Hallo, hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Jetzt sollte man mich jetzt richtig laut hören, oder? Jetzt hört man mich richtig laut. Dann machen wir so. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo. So. Hallo, hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Jetzt sollte man mich jetzt richtig laut hören, oder? Jetzt hört man mich richtig laut. Dann machen wir so. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo. So. Hallo, hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Ich mach mal 17. Habe ich 17, hallo? So. Hallo, hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Ich mach mal 17. Habe ich 17, hallo? Ja, sehr, sehr gut. Oder? Hallo, hallo? Hallo, hallo? Hallo, hallo, hallo? Hä? 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 Habe ich 17, hallo? Ja, so ist gut. Oder? Hallo, hallo? Hallo, hallo? Hallo, hallo, hallo? Hä? Hä? Das ist perfekt. So, Leute.
Not to mention that high ground there as well, Mini.
Sorry fürs lange Warten.
It certainly is.
Ich hatte aber nichts eingestellt. So, jetzt geht's los. Jetzt habe ich immer alles, jetzt habe ich alles eingestellt. Wie wirklich alles eingestellt? Jetzt los. Jetzt habe ich immer alles, jetzt habe ich alles eingestellt. Wie wirklich alles eingestellt? Jetzt habe ich immer alles, jetzt habe ich alles eingestellt.
And even though they didn't do a lot of the heavy lifting, they still got it across the finish line with a huge elimination.
2070. Hallo, hallo, hallo? Hallo, hallo, hallo? Junge, hä? Hallo? Hallo, hallo? Jetzt teste ich mal. Und aus. So.
And even though they didn't do a lot of the heavy lifting, they still got it across the finish line with a huge elimination.
2070. Hallo, hallo, hallo? Hallo, hallo, hallo? Junge, hä? Hallo? Hallo, hallo? Jetzt teste ich mal. Und Junge, das ist reicht. Der 4 Punkte gilt Blacher. Ist er ein Lacher oder was? Oder wieso heißt er so? Jetzt teste ich mal. Und Junge, das ist reicht. Der 4 Punkte gilt Blacher. Ist er ein Lacher oder was? Oder wieso heißt er so? Hallo? Ich habe jetzt 15 gemacht. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Mann, was ist das? So, jetzt testen. Gilt Blacher. Ist er ein Lacher oder was? Oder wieso heißt er so? Hallo? Ich habe jetzt 15 gemacht. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Mann, was ist das? So, jetzt testen. So. So Larry erst Kill. Der holt ihn. Safe. Noch einmal mal 16. 16,50. So. Bruder, ich muss alles einstellen. So Larry erst Kill. Der holt ihn. Safe. Noch einmal mal 16. 16,50. So. Bruder, ich muss alles einstellen. Lumex. Hieß hier jemand Lumex? Er droppt den Biggie.
More than enough materials, and even seeing some berries on the ground. That's the utility in which I was talking about. That will allow themselves to get the low gravity effect. You combine that with the grapple blade, and they're going to be able to cover distance on this max pull very quickly. You can even use just a quick sip of that Flowberry Fizz juice, and it will give you the same effects without having to use the whole.
Die haben 12 Punkte. Er ist eigentlich voll viel für FNCS, aber das ist ja Qualifikation für Weltmeisterschaft. Hier, Lunex, nicht Lumex. Lunex, nicht Lumex. Monumentara, lalalala. Ich muss wieder was einstellen. Er ist eigentlich voll viel für FNCS, aber das ist ja Qualifikation für Weltmeisterschaft.
secure.
Ja, okay, ist gut.
Around as a solo, Arc Skill doing the same thing. Finding a lot of success thanks to a lot of those builds they were able to grab onto early on, but 3 eliminations that
Die haben 22 Punkte, Solari
but now that he's a solo, you see him slowly but surely falling down that threshold ladder. And you look up at the sky, it's Kenti and Peshka looking clean, looking smooth, especially since they have the resources to hold on to it momentarily.
Double layering up. They have the material.
Nations that
Die haben 22 Punkte, Solari
but now that he's a solo, you see him slowly but surely falling down that threshold ladder. And you look up
Hallo,
at the
hallo.
sky, it's
Hallo,
Kenti
hallo,
and
hallo, hallo.
Peshka
Hört man mich
looking
gut?
clean, looking smooth, especially since
Hallo,
they have the
hä?
resources to hold on to it momentarily.
Double layering up. They have the material.
Nations that
Die haben 22 Punkte, Solari
but now that he's a solo, you see him slowly but surely falling down that threshold ladder. And you look up
Hallo,
at the
hallo.
sky, it's
Hallo, 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 hallo. Hört man mich gut?
clean, looking smooth, especially since
Hallo,
they have
hä?
the resources to hold on to it momentarily.
Double layering up. They have the material.
Nations that
Die haben 22 Punkte. Okay.
to defend himself, but he needs the time. He needs a moment to take a breath of fresh air, especially with someone creeping on his backside. 1 HP is not going to give him that comfort.
Digga, bei den
He's
deckt es.
climbing up,
Der hat
fighting
1 HP!
but the zone is continuously on his
1
back.
HP.
He sees a knock, tries
Mit
to go
32
for
Punkte.
it, but
Krass.
gets shut down just like
Oder?
that.
Krass.
Not really giving
Krass. Okay.
to defend himself, but he needs the time. He needs a moment to take a breath of fresh air, especially with someone creeping on his backside. 1 HP is not going to give him that comfort.
Digga, bei den
He's
deckt es.
climbing up,
Der hat 1 HP!
but the zone is continuously on his
Ein Bruder, das ist voll gut so. Ja.
5 med kits. They want to play the heal off from the low, and it looks like up top there's been a bit of an aggressive play here. High ground has been overthrown. New crowns have been placed on Nathan and CZB as they continue to rain down from above.
They have a strand
Digga.
over this game. So much pressure going down from above.
Over.
He had a build. He started
50
to
Punkte!
jump out, but gets shut down. 7 med kits onto Vortexers. Voco's there. You
Dat
have
nou med
to
kits.
be able to survive
Die
in order
med
to
kits.
make those med kits count. That's more than enough to survive the heal.
Bruder.
And that storm sickness.
Es leben noch
thing. Kobe
6
trying to pass around
Gegner.
the same med kits,
Nee,
keeping the wing
6
condition
Teams
for
und
Ajax, but the pressure is
Heck
just
check
too
ich nicht.
much. All the builds come crappling down. Monier drops down. Lunex is there as well, and they take down yet another team. But they themselves fall. They enter into the top.
Bruder.
The duo now who overthrew the high
Schwäche
ground
gewonnen,
gets a bit of
gewonnen,
action.
To survive the heal.
Bruder.
And that's
Take that aggression as Edric
So,
is still in
jetzt
zone.
wirklich
More
kein
med
Test
kits,
mehr.
but
So
actually
ist es wirklich
now
so.
in his inventory, trying to survive as long as possible. Nathan up above with only 1 med
Wer
kit.
wird das jetzt
Is it
gewinnen?
gonna be enough? I don't think so. Does he know
Oh oh.
what is happening in zone?
Oh oh.
Uh-oh.
Voll gestört.
Kid stops. Vortexer still has every mid kid left on the map, but they get close. He tries to take action into his own hands. Nathan gets one, but it's not enough to break through.
GG! Für 70 Punkte!
Med kits to win the heal off takes the game.
Vortex is
Stark.
in a whole other late game there with the amount of medkits he had. But the party
Stark.
did conclude in his box.
Das ist gerade live, Leute. Das ist gerade live.
Came out on top, clean victory royale.
Ist gerade
That's
live.
away after seeing the leaderboards almost halfway through the day to start to build that confidence to do what's needed
FNCS.
to get that final placement, because it's where everybody lands at the end of the day. Depends on how many series points they get here in week 1 of our FNCS qualifiers. And Adrix did such a good job, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. 3 med kits used at this point for Vortexers, going for the 4th as Nathan goes in, but he gets sent right back on out. As we reach the halfway point, I'm going to send it on over to our desk to break down all the action thus far.
Die haben gewonnen
Thank you,
unten.
fellas. Yeah, it was a fragging frenzy at fencing fields. I'm all over the alliteration tonight. Have you noticed that? I had like Mavericks, Mustache, it's just... I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a good time. I mean, obviously Vortex and Volko there as well. Victory Royale. I mean, fantastic work.
Es kommt dann nächste Woche wieder ein Livestream, sonst kommen keine Livestreams mehr.
Another team. This is the great thing about this kind of competition this year. The format here. It's just endgame after endgame, VR after VR.
Im ersten Stream muss man immer etwas einstellen, damit man gucken kann. Volko, ich kenne Volko. Der war ja auch, wie heißt das? Auch im FNCS Cup. Letztes Mal. Wo auch so Bugger und so war. Die haben 126 Punkte. Die werden sich safe qualifizieren. Die werden sich safe in der ersten Runde qualifizieren. 100 Pro. Nein, 99 Pro, eher gesagt. Aber das war nicht so Monkral oder Mr. Savage. Weil Mr. Savage und Monkral, oder eher gesagt Monkral und Mr. Savage sind ja im Team.
Like Takata said, he could have outlasted a whole another heal off, a whole another end game with just how many. It's almost demoralizing if you're the other players, right? The guy you're going up against has like 6, 7 medkits. Like, you know, what am I supposed to do? What do I even possibly do then?
Kann man nicht irgendwie übersetzen? Ich will Englisch. Options. Einstellungen. Nee, bitte nicht.
CCB, Nathan, managing to sustain hype for a long period of time.
Das sind die Highlights von gerade eben. Oh, komm. Ey, die sind 4. Platz. Monkral und Mr. Savage, 4. Platz. Vardial und Riesen 7. Platz. Krass. Krass, Leute. Monkral und Mr. Savage 4. Platz und Vardial und Reason sind 7. Platz. Voll gut. Leute, alle die Top 10 sind, qualifizieren sich weiter. Das heißt, Vardial und Reason kommen in die nächste Runde. Safe. Wenn die jetzt so halten und nicht niedriger mit Punkte werden oder höher kommen, da sind die safe weiter. Die könnten 6. Platz erreichen. Aber krass, Digga. Und gerade Mr. Savage. 4. Platz, nice. Und Vardial. Ich hätte nie gedacht, dass Vardial und Wiesen 7. Platz kommen. Das ist, Leute, das ist Fortnite Weltmeisterschaft. Also Qualifikation für Fortnite Weltmeisterschaft. Bruder. Warte mal, das heißt, dass Wiesen dann auf Twitch live ist, oder? Twitch. Safe. Der ist safe live? Wiesen? Nein, ist er nicht. Achso, ich folge ihn ja nicht mal. Doch, hier. Er ist live. Aber Monkral. Digga. Monkral.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with the duos here. I mean,
Achso, die spielen gerade?
I just love the fact that superstars that are in this as well. It's just amazing with so many players across different lobbies here. It's just good to see them back. It's just on everybody's face as well. It's great to see the community are loving it too.
Ist das gerade FNCS? Nee, das ist kein FNCS. Das ist normal. Das ist Week 1? Fertig? Ah, ist schon fertig, oder? Krass. Mr. Savage.
Oh, I'm not sure that. I'm sure Kinch or someone in the community has got one of them. Like, yeah, if you get 17th, you'll guarantee make it. If you get another, you know, there'll be something like that. I'm not too clued into that. I think a lot of people will be looking at the data and sort of assessing where these guys are, how they doing so far. Queasy and Thomas on our schemes currently in 25th place, right? So again, not necessarily the
kann man Level nicht überspringen?
and I think we're seeing that across the board with some of the big names maybe not quite managing to sort of get the kind of dominance we typically see in EU. I think in EU we've sort of become accustomed to like a certain, you know, 8 names really dominating everything, but you know, a bit of a slower start, more homogenous, a lot more names sort of being thrown into the mix towards the top here.
Yeah, and I think a good reason for that is the fact that we're not just in a 50 play or 50 duo lobby right now. A lot of these top tier names, not the top tier talent, are so good in those set lobbies, and that's really where you get to see the difference between the very top and those that are at the top in those set lobbies, but not quite number 1 or 2. So that's where we're seeing the difference right now. It's the teams that aren't quite able to take this new format in their stride. 25th though for these guys, Queasy and Thomas, is not too bad at all. As you get to see some teams that are actually moving up the leaderboard as well.
Das ist Cup.
Just maybe learn from their mistakes in their earlier games, which this format allows for.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at 24th. Tino and Uruguay. If you don't know who Uruguay is, that is the
Das ist Cup?
Chapix, right?
Ja, die müssen aufsteigen.
Again, is etched in Fortnite
Die
history,
müssen
especially
aufsteigen.
you.
Sonst sind die am Arsch.
Since, like, Invitational. It's been,
Oh,
like,
das wird
he went
knapp
on a
hier.
hiatus for a year, he quit the game,
Gegen
he's
die
back
für
now,
oben.
and he's outperforming, you know, Queasy and Thomas. Not too shabby, eh?
Not too bad at all. I mean,
Das ist ein Cup? Nein, das ist nicht der. Hier habe ich die 12 Punkte. Achso, in der Runde die 12 Punkte. Insgesamt sind das. Aber wieso wird das dann natürlich angezeigt? Wie die spielen? Warte mal. Achso, das ist gerade live! Oh, Vadial und Wiesen sind Achter geworden. Monkral Sechster mit Mr. Savage.
This sort of format, I think, really does play into their favor because they are so good at knowing how each other play. They're so good. They're almost one brain combined when it comes to that end game, and the way they're able to bounce off each other, getting those eliminations, going for those pre-edits. It almost seems robotic at times is how they're doing it. So I'm expecting them to do more of the same in the set lobbies as well. And the fact they're doing this in the top 250 teams is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it just speaks volumes to them. I said at the start of the day, Malibu and Mustache are such a fun duo to watch. Be sure to tune into them at any opportunity you get. They
Switch.
They really are. We've got loads more to show you. Loads more happening. We're only halfway through today. Let's join iDrop and Nebs right now on the
Twitch.
Amane. Kick it off. Let's jump on in. Non-stop action is what we've been seeing today. Adam even asked Malibu and Mustache what did they do to get to that first place spot. They took the new record of most elims in a single match today at 15, but now switching back to
Digga, der zockt Minecraft.
break that record, Jacob. Do you think so?
Dieser Typ zockt Minecraft.
In the past couple of seasons, you can kind of see it in iDrop with his mechanical skill increasing so much, and that's hard to say. A lot of these players are, you think, at the top of their game already, and they just continuously are getting better. As Nebs just goes for the quick chop on to Rexy, tries to drop from the palm of their hands and land the shot, but it definitely has him exactly.
Ja, safe haben die.
Going for another chop.
GG, welche Platz sind die?
And for now, Rexy with the grapple blade is going to be able to escape. Even his duo gets out alive with just a sliver of HP.
CS und CS Platzierungen.
Looks like he's been found. They knew he was a solo. They knew.
Zeig mal die Platzierungen.
And his match came to an end.
Details.
Searching for a new one. But what I like about this format is you can just go right back into another match.
Was?
Wait for the whole game to
Sieger?
end. So it's non-stop action for these teams. Freemark now fakey. Oh.
Was denn das?
1400 damage above the threshold. First ones to rotate with that grapple blade, but being the first ones can cause a lot of aggression to be focused onto you, as both of them are trapped now.
CS, geht noch eine Stunde.
Flowberry Fizz or something, maybe even a medallion. Heal them back up.
Und dann geht der Stream hier auch noch eine
I'm a
Stunde.
little surprised, especially with how much damage they took and being one of the first teams there, you know, essentially on an island by themselves, why there wasn't more of a prominent focus to try to take them out. But a blessing for them nonetheless is Hydro and Fast Roki, front side of zone, a little bit less to worry about. That's why you see them peek through the cones, just trying to gather that information, figure out where players are going to rotate from. iDrop and Nebs as we tune into them a second time. 208 below the damage threshold, no heals. Nebs just has a few seconds to try to get the damage, but he goes down trying to get into the box, going for it. Landed a shot to try to make iDrop
Vadial fehlt noch auf Twitch.
damage threshold with more work to
Muss
do.
Vadial noch auschecken.
Like you said, has to find
Hier war die
those
ja.
options. Those shots have to connect, but
Oh mein.
Classic mit saftigem Hähnchenfleisch zum Preis von einem. Mit den neuen
good news
Gutscheinen
is
und
there
Coupons
is
von
3
McDonald's.
medkits. Might be able to
Hallo.
heal the surge
Nein, was ist denn das hier?
for as long as you can.
Oh, war der. War der. Wusste ich nicht. Das ist wirklich.
Pick up that up here,
Dein Back nach Linie. Nichts zum Kreis.
but it looks like not successfully.
Die haben 12 Punkte.
Now, one more medkit
Wie
left,
ist der?
and
Achso,
the
jetzt.
pressure keeps rising.
And just a handful of players need to go down, 2 to be exact, before it turns off. Continuously taking damage, tries to even go down for a refresh, daring little play, trying to find
Okay,
any
das
bit of heals that he
hier
can
eine
work
andere
with.
Runde.
All that's
Digga, ich hätte auch FNTS spielen sollen. Mit meinem Duo-Mate, aber. Digga, wir würden das Tag hatten. Wir würden nicht mal einen Punkt machen. Vielleicht nur wegen Sturm und so, aber. Digga, wir würden nicht mal 10 Minuten überleben.
No, Kiro.
Nicht mal 5 Minuten. Nicht mal 2 Minuten.
Takes him out. Kiduo now looks back. This is what happened. My duo's on the
Digga,
ground.
wie viele sind hier?
HP. It was looking so bright and now it's so dark. As now
Stark
forced to
Radial.
use the
Was bei
medkits.
Riesen los?
3 medkits. 2 bigs, but be careful. That's not your
Okay,
teammate Kiduo.
was machen
That's
die
an
da?
opponent's tarp. Somehow makes it
Die
out though.
healen sich.
Medkits getting put to use now.
Die haben
Will he be able to
regelmäßiger schon gut
this
los.
match?
Gib mal Savage. Ah ja.
Even boxes his opponent in. It wasn't even he who got boxed there momentarily. 290 buff for Marius allows him the flexibility to stay on this layer. Pop the Flowberry Fizz. You know, his rotation just got exponentially easier just because of that. A Snowy and Master with the high ground control like never before seen so far in this game. 5 eliminations as well into the top 19.
Bitte qualifiziere dich. Du musst sofort in die Weltmeisterschaft kommen und gegen Buga. Ja, nice. Nice! 4 Punkte!
Trying to stay up as
GG,
much as possible.
GG,
Meanwhile, Master and
GG,
Snowy
GG.
healing from above. All the duos down below trying to scavenge those points, especially the solos, as Fakey found another E-Lift.
Sieht
Kiduo
jetzt
now
bei Radial Wiesen
choosing
aus.
to take the med
Okay,
kit
die haben
route,
noch
stay in zone,
überlebt.
open up that opportunity for a potential flank on an opponent that might be further back. Fakey gets cracked though, gets eliminated as well.
Bei Radial und Wiesen
As
sind
Marius
welche.
now continues.
That's
Sieht
not good
hier
at all,
aus.
but for Marius, he at least has some utility to work with, but I'm not sure the Flowberry Fizz and the Crash Pad is not going to send you into the zone if you don't use it super correctly, but at least it's going to allow him to take different elevations and not worry about the fall damage.
Okay, die haben
It's the
4
builds he
Punkte,
really
das
needs to
ist
be
wichtig.
conscientious of as he gets to the front side of zone,
Das
full
ist
boxes up, even
nice.
2, so all those builds go out just like that. So he almost has no choice here but to find a refresh towards the backside of the
Bei
zone.
denen sind keine Gegner, bei Wiesen und Radial
His
sind
flame
welche.
though as he finds another elim. Only 2 builds to work with. All wood as well. He knows he has opponents close by. Some inside the storm. Takes those shots, cracks him. But is it going to be enough?
So, klettert irgendwo.
As now the action continues. Be careful. Backside blocked off. No more builds to work with. Has to take the shot and it connects.
Bruder, das
Kiduo will ultimately go down
42
as
Punkte
Marius
in
now
einer Runde.
with that Flowberry Fizz, with those crash pads and no builds
Bruder.
to his name as well.
This is gonna be a tricky
Eine
situation. Gets blocked
Runde.
by Fastrokey.
Oh,
Goes
war
up and over,
Wiesen.
but Fastrokey
Nice.
on the chin
Finishen.
cleans up that elimination.
Nice.
Him and Hydro doing good. 6 so far as a team. Multiple medkits.
Okay, die haben 14 Punkte. Das ist krass.
Through this house, replenishing a little, but Master and
Das ist
Snow. It
krass.
feels like they haven't been in a battle for the last couple of zones. They have the comfortability of being able to see everything play out right above them into the top 6. Only 1 player's left as a solo. Let's see what he can do.
Digga, bei lokal schauen mehr Leute zu als komplett bei Fortnite.
What the meta is looking like currently, but the players who play aggressive stop those medkits, cancel
Ah,
them,
GG.
them to look for those engagements, for looking for
Wiesen,
those eliminations. Meanwhile, up top,
Radial,
Masters in the
trinken.
clouds,
Und
sitting
zwar
carefully,
und
sitting calmly.
zieht seine Kopfhörer aus.
Hydro goes
Nice.
down, 2 medkits for Master left.
Was
After
bei denen
this one
los?
gets popped, 3 players up.
4 Punkte.
Is it gonna be enough?
Not sure. Only time will tell. It looks like he's down low,
Ist
still using those
nice.
medkits. scrounging around for any loot that might be left behind from somebody else. Last of the medkits left. He's taking some time, taking the opportunity to go for a couple of shots. It doesn't even need him.
Wer hat die Runde gewonnen?
Goes down to the zone and he takes that game with ease.
Wer hat die Runde gewonnen?
His objective from those shots was just to cancel the medkit from his opponent to scare him a little bit, and it might have just worked perfectly. I'm not sure how many medkits his
Oder
opponent
wer ist
had.
das denn?
Oh, Vorsicht! Ich habe sie nicht noch angenommen.
Ich abonniere ihn mal.
Master before he dropped down low, so there was nothing left to scavenge. And Master, well, his name rolls to be true. He is the master of that game, and they end up.
Ich will ihn doch nicht
Also wir haben
abonnieren.
2000 Stein, ein Einer-Dings.
Warte.
Wir haben 2000 Stein.
Ja, ich glaube, so brauchen wir eigentlich nicht, aber keine Ahnung.
Haben wir hier nochmal 100?
Oder haben wir irgendwas, das so teuer wäre?
Nee, ich glaube nicht so wirklich. Außer dann haben wir nochmal 4000 Steine in einer Kiste.
Oder irgendwie
Einzige,
will
was
ich
wir
nicht
machen,
abonnieren.
wäre davon
Aber
halt eine riesige Burg bauen oder so quatschen.
Wäre eigentlich auch lustig. Und was ist das? Ach, das ist schon wieder so ein Spawn-Ding. Hä, was ist denn hier unten jetzt?
Ich habe ein Liege den Hürde des Donnerstabs, aber mit gar keinen Effekten drauf.
Ja, dann ist es ein gewöhnlicher, ne? Gewöhnlich kannst du weghauen eigentlich.
Ja.
Weil die bringen uns eh nicht mehr, selbst die epischen sind zum Teil schon schlechter wie alles andere bei uns.
Mm.
Der legendären, der hatte wie 6 Stats gleichzeitig hat.
Daniel, danke für
Alle
ein
basieren
Abo.
auf Heilung und Crit.
Bei YouTube,
halt
danke dir sehr.
Mana-Raub und Crit total auch.
Kannst mir auch bei Twitch und Turbo folgen.
Kann ich Doppeljump, ich fühle mich im Mode.
was macht er für Videos? Von einem Jahr, Digga. Geht jeden Tag live. Oder irgendwie ist mir mir sympathisch.
Kommen wir denn hier überhaupt wieder raus? Rausgraben bloß oder was? Ne, hier geht's raus. Oh, hallo Lukas. Bist du eigentlich da?
Eben gerade erst hinter dir
Ausgespawnt. Das spawnt da einfach. Das Side-Character spawnt.
Hä? Was?
Oder?
Ich hab dir nichts getragen.
Ja,
Scheiß drauf.
Kommst direkt so.
Ja,
Ich nicht. Ich kann die wieder abonnieren. Ja, Fortnite.
wesentlich mehr als
Hallo.
But this season, I am super excited to continue their journey and see their rise to the top. You can already see plans being in
Jetzt
motion.
grüßen uns.
Heal,
Okay, die
toying
liegen
with
noch.
the idea
Das
to
ist
try to
Savage.
take over the high ground as Vico and Pink have a different idea in mind. It's to take down Trulex and Chicho. Half of that plan has already been dealt
Warte,
with.
ja,
Trulex is going to go down, but
was mit der
luckily
Grafik
Chicho
los?
is able
Da
to
bin ich
create
nicht so
some
besser.
separation
Ah,
and
wir
be
sind
able to
jetzt
keep
tot.
himself alive in this game.
We talked about heal off,
Komm.
but Pink is ready for a shield off right now.
Ich hab
6
Platz.
shieldfish, 3 big
Ja, wie viele
bots.
sind da?
Holding all the shields he possibly can as Moneymaker and his duo partner continue to build on up. They want to maintain an advantageous position above here, as it looks like they just might have it. Gonna want to connect as much as possible, keep building on ahead. But so far, it's looking like a clean route for them.
Yeah, I think I've seen
Yeah,
Moneymaker in a couple
yeah.
of games we've had so far in the background. So we're going to call this his debut as he's featured here in this match along with Chicho. We saw his teammate Trulex go down to Moneymaker and Fanaim himself. No heals, no HP, plenty of builds though, so all he really needs is one refresher to find some loot that has been left behind, and he could easily be back into the game, especially as a solo. He has the mythic hammer pump added on top, so he's definitely going to be able to pack a punch if he's able to catch somebody off guard.
Lushi, on the contrary, with the 3 med kits, but not as many materials. It is enough, though, to stay up at least this zone, as he looks for the most efficient rotate here. Meanwhile, Moneymaker,
Wie sieht's bei Wiesen aus?
building
18
higher and
Punkte.
higher.
Nice. Fortnite.
That position,
Mit 16 Punkte.
and his duo
Aber
partner now
ich hätte nie gedacht, dass Mokka und Mr. Savage so schlecht
gets
sind.
into their tarp. As the rotate continues to be planned.
Real Talk, was ist das?
Easier said than done.
Digga, das ist Savage pusht, ne? Er fightet. Das macht man gerade da.
Trying to grapple by before he makes that rotation himself.
Er kratzt sich am Kopf, Digga.
Knows that a couple players are weak in that direction. But if you see so many players still all around, it's easy to lose sight of where that player is. You can even hear and see a medallion being stopped between the two. Chicho gets shot again on that rotation without heals. Every shot that he takes makes it more and more impossible for him to survive, but it's just the quick thinking, the acrobatics of another dangerous situation.
Moneymaker now forced to make something happen. He's gonna have to put on his boxing gloves. He's gonna have to take a fight here. Only 2 builds to work with. Gonna choose to play it slow with the med kit, try and survive, secure as many placements as possible, and now find that angle onto an opponent once his med kit runs out. Pink now looking for the high ground. He wants it. He's hungry for it. Has the shield fish. I'm sure Vico's holding the hard heals. As now they continue rotating while applying pressure. How long is this engagement going to go on for? Just 1 more minute left. A lot of time for this last zone. Moneymaker, though, he finds that elimination. Lucy goes down, gets a bit more materials. Only 7 HP, though, has to start juicing up with the Flowberry Fizz.
Qualität, warum automatisch?
Das sieht besser.
Oder bei ihm braucht man keine Grafik zu machen. Bei einem, der macht einen Emote. Weißt du was?
For that victory royale as they continue finding those pinkings down below. This change in elevation makes it difficult for the duos in the dirt and even on the mid ground as they have an incredibly difficult
24 Punkte, nice. Guck mal, die Zone ist so klein. Es leben aber noch 30 Gegner. Digga, was?
It could turn down. Come down to this duo versus Vico as Vico drops down, takes his shot. But is it enough? It's not, as Vico's been eliminated. Shimoki now starting to heal off.
Yeah, but all the heals, you called it throughout the game. It was Vico that had most of the heals. Switched off between the two. Pink now has the med kits. Shimoki is running out of gas. The med kits is going to be used. Pink has 2 more in his back pocket. So Shimoki's going to have very, very little time to try to go on the hunt to get this elimination. There's no person, there's no heals, there's nothing in sight. Pink is going to take the game and move up that leaderboard.
Chill bisschen.
Chill. They got the victory royale. Once again, we've seen it happen, Jacob, where you play on the high ground and you get that freedom for your duo to go down, disrupt the low ground, cause chaos. Meanwhile, you play back, play safe, pop the med kits, pop the floppers, pop everything you can.
Ach ja, die haben immer noch 4 Punkte.
Yeah, and you kind of saw it throughout the course. They had their roles
Sie waren so schlecht.
One player carried all the heals, the other one carried all the shields. And when push came to shove, Vico said, "Hey, I'm gonna go finish this
komm,
game."
holte dir.
Ja,
der ist Schisser.
That one with ease, but let's keep the ball rolling. Adam, what else you guys got for us?
Yeah, let's keep it rolling, baby. So much. Pink and Vico are your
Nimm den Biggie mit.
Ensuring that they jumped out the high ground and made sure to sustain the mid, and then they just swept up where they needed to. The meds, the paying off there at the end for Pink. I was actually in the middle of about to make a peanut butter sandwich there. Crunchy, obviously. No time, lads.
Oha, die haben 156 Punkte.
Great work from Pink and Vico.
Nice.
The action does not
Haben die schon Platzierung gezeigt? Nee.
Just trying to look for height there in the end 11. We saw them trying to make it happen. Ultimately,
zeig jetzt mal. Ich will die Highlights nicht sehen.
And it was just really well played and well taken high ground from Pink, which is exactly what we'd expect from him, right?
Yeah, they were sort of really relentless for it. Jacob sort of alluded to it. They had just been looking for it the whole end game, and I think oftentimes when the team starts dropping low on materials, the decision is either we're going to look to play for height or look to play for low. A lot of the time, the decision is going to play for low, right? Getting eliminations is often a lot easier when you're down there. But with just how the game was winding down, I think they realized that we do have med kits. If we can get height, we're probably going to win the game. And it was the right decision. It was the right play, the right execution. And the team on height just didn't have the same energy for the pressure that Pink and Vika were applying. I can't believe we've not talked about these guys all day, because they are another one of those sort of sleeper duels, duels where the skill level's there, the
die zeigen jetzt.
is there. If these guys
Jetzt kommt noch ein kleines bisschen Highlights. Danach zeigen die Punkteanzahl.
So really, happy to see them picking up a win here.
Yeah, make a huge difference with the points as well. Let's take a look exactly where we're at on the leaderboard. Two standings are coming in thick and fast.
Ja, oh was? 200 Punkte?
Right now, Sinet and Vanyak are currently also in first position right now. 186 placement points, 26.
Moncaro und Mr. Savage sind abgestiegen.
We saw Pink and Vika there, slam dunking their way to second spot with 28 eliminations, Mini.
Weg, einfach weg, die sind weg, Leute. Die sind weg. Weg, komplett weg. Einfach weg. Ich dachte, die sind besser. Wo ist Wiesen? Wiesen. Wo ist Moncaro? Hä? Oder was? Noch ein Wiesen 1 vs 1.
Certainly have. I hear that there's chaos kicking off somewhere out on the map. I think it's courtesy of.
Ja, aber die müssen sich qualifizieren. Ohne Mr. Savage, Moncaro, das ist lang. Warte, Buga. Stimmt er auf YouTube oder wo? Buga.
I think they're looking to do it again, Jacob. 2 on the board already.
Hey, still 45 possible eliminations left for them to snap.
Wie sieht Buga aus?
And plenty of game left to boot. That Reaper sniper rifle that Mustache has, he can definitely get a knock onto somebody or a solo quick elimination onto somebody as well. But that duo right next to him, they're traveling hip to hip with Malcolm Mustache.
Hat er Twitch?
Could be a good thing, but a team as dangerous as them, well, it could also be a bad thing as well.
Never can be too careful though. As Snazy put aside here.
Buga.
Elan's on the board. A lot more relaxed, but that relaxation can turn into
that game right there with how he does. But ladies,
only 24
so live
now.
That game right there with how he does. But ladies and gentlemen, there's no way anyone beats him. Your Fortnite World Champion.
Easy pickings for options.
Immer noch 4 Punkte.
Just take a look though.
Was ist denn los hier?
First zone moving over towards Lavish Lair. As you called out 2 of their eliminations before, they spotted up that solo. And I said it before, I'll say it again.
Ja, hier ist ein bisschen Verzögerung.
Hip to hip with Malibu and Mustache. You want to create space, especially if you're a solo, because they'll spot things like that out. They'll know exactly where you're positioned in your box. They'll also know that you're a solo. And with 2 Thunderburst SMGs, those walls will not be enough to hold back this team.
Walls, shields, nothing is enough to hold back this duo. Interesting zone here, I like it. It could be dangerous for the duos that have to rotate through this building in the future, but Lavish Layer, good amount of changes in elevation. Cherry, Giros, they were pretty healthy just a moment ago in terms of damage.
Digga, was ist denn los hier? 4 Punkte. Seit wann so schlecht?
Storm Surge is active, but for how long? As the rotates come through, the players could get picked off.
Well, everybody's kind of close together. This duo here has found a way to separate themselves from everybody else, and honestly, that was a nice decision there to use the crash pad without the Flowberry Fizz, because they wanted to go a little bit shorter. Too far off, they would have put themselves probably in the line of sight and the focus against other teams here at their position nearby. The zone continues to move forward. And this is kind of the first sense of a team trying to take high ground and instantly give it up and try to move towards the front side of that zone.
Finn and Ren now. 730 above, 4 elims just for Ren. Good loadout, good materials. This duo might even feel confident enough to take some shots up above and potentially play aggressive towards height. Meanwhile, Demus Saren also looking healthy. A lot of duos here have been playing a bit more passive, conserving their loot, their materials, and are looking incredibly strong for this late game as now the duos that are going on ahead and building up, trying to secure that advantageous position. The question is, though, when you do it on these first moving zones, will you be able to hold it? We saw how difficult it got for DKS and Vox when they just kept getting shots again and again.
Was ist denn
yeah, they're looking healthy now in terms of builds, but just like you said, 3 straight zones is going to be an attempt to try to hold on to it.
Perfekt. Die haben mit 2 Bruder, weil die irgendwie sind viel besser als Mr. Savage und Call.
And quickly use the Flowberry Fizz. 1 of 2 charges they do have left to try to cover the ground and the distance, all while being below the damage threshold for Surge. So it's something they're going to keep back of their minds as they reach the front side of the zone.
Sherry now left as a solo. 3 medkits to his name as well. Good amount of materials, has those options, but be careful. It looked like almost your duo got your
4 Punkte.
pickaxing him. And he's gonna find that, but I don't believe he's gonna go for the finish. It's too risky. Pick up the extra loot. Most likely we'll get picked up anyways. Look who's found it though. Malibuka stash. As if they didn't need more loot. There it is. 1500 damage above.
Oder man muss sich vorstellen, dass alle in FNCS, die sind so gut, Digga. Jeder einzelne Spieler ist so gut. Checkt ihr das? Digga, das ist voll krass. Voll krass, Digga.
For a solo just like him this early into the moving zones with almost no builds to his name.
Artem now up above. High ground has changed owners, but be careful. Merstash Malibuka are looking for it, cracking the solo up top now, permitting them to confidently build up. Not even a fight for it, just took a few shots and there it is. Merstash is already up above now, crowns, kings of the high ground. Building out, be careful though, all that's left is one. Hopefully Malibuka has a bit more hard mats to work with. The Snazy has just 2 builds to work with, making use of the matling mechanic here. Playing sneakily.
Oh, Digga. Die haben jetzt 12 Punkte. 12! Stark. Wundervoll. Ja, jetzt eigentlich nicht so Verzögerung. Nur ein paar Sekunden.
Jumps over Swift, who goes down to a whole nother team right below him, barely escaping danger, but another team right in front. The battles are endless for Chari. He's trying to survive, but he breaks down yet again. His quick thinking right now is the only thing keeping him alive.
40 HP, has those medkits, he has the option to do it, and there it is, the heal off starts coming through. Snazy as well, another 2 medkits to work with. This gives them a bit of time to think, to reflect on what their rotation's gonna be into the zone as Myra now, that mythic hammer pump shotgun, 110 to his opponent, cracks him. Still another shot needed though, 108, it's not enough, gets knocked all up to his duo partner. Kingo now has the mats inside the zone, looking for those connections, but he's running low. Soon enough, he has to make something happen.
And somehow, some way, Chari's
Die haben 16, ja endlich. Auf jeden Fall würde ich mich entscheiden, ob Wiesen und Vadial oder Mokra und Mr. Savage weiterkommen. Da würde ich sagen 100% Mokra und Mr. Savage. Oder die sind OG.
On the other side, Malibuka has 2 left in his
Beziehungsweise
inventory. Everything is running out. This is our final 2 teams left alive. And Malibuka just might have the edge, but just in case, he drops down low. He's ready to fight it if he needs it with a medkit left. He ends the run just like that. Malibuka winning by taking it by force.
Played flawlessly by Malibuka. He had the medkits, but at the same time, you never know what your opponent has. He found him. Opponent was locked in. From the medkits. Malibuka didn't even go for the wall replace.
Aber Buka würde ja dann streamen. Macht er überhaupt mit beim World Cup? Beim FNCS? Macht er mit?
To reflect on what the rotation's going to be into the zone as Myra now, that mythic hammer pump shotgun, 110 to his opponent, cracks him. Still another shot needed though, 108, it's not enough, gets knocked all up to his duo partner. Kingo now has the max. Royale.
So many teams today just
2
taking
Punkte.
destiny
20, ich will die gucken. 24. Was? Ist krass. Aber das nervt. 28! 30! Ja, das war's jetzt. Aber 30 Punkte ist schon krass. Ja, nice. 30 Punkte. Digga, die können einfach unendlich viele Runden spielen. So noch 5 Matches. Ja, das ist qualifiziert.
Top of the leaderboard before the game begins and get a victory royale, multiple eliminations. Boy, they are the ones.
Ja, die werden safe weiterkommen.
Yeah, textbook game for them as well. I think everything sort of towards the
Oder?
end was just done so well. We already know they've been way up there in the leaderboards today, Mini, and I think when you look at the way that game ended, there's no surprises of how it went. That.
Yeah, no surprises. Even right there at the end, just Malabuka making yet again the correct decision to jump in the box and try and go for that final elimination. I think it would have been down to Merciless as well, just telling him, you know what, this other player has a lot of medkits, has a lot of whites that he can actually use to heal up. So Malabuka, of course, was then able to jump on in, but a really well played game. To be able to switch from low ground to height there, Levin, was a really well executed move.
Yeah, we always talk about the team on heights won the game, but how did they actually do it, right? Really well executed. Height take, they went to the front of the zone, they created distance between them and the height team. A really nice spray from Malabuka meant that the guy on height was like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with this. Instantly dropped down, and then they were able to ramp up and take it, right? And I think sort of the small details there that really played in their favor was just making sure they had that space between them and the height team, making sure they timed it really well, right? On the transition, I think there's just so many things about this team.
Ja, jetzt 62.000 und... Oh. Digga, hä? Die ist immer noch Werbung. Okay, macht er... Achso, er macht selber eine Werbung.
Yeah, absolutely stunning work there. We're jumping right back in here. We're not stopping for a second. This is nail biting, and we're getting back into the mix here. We're joining up with Cheatin and Vortex. Let's get in there and see what's up.
This is it. Final hour is among us, and this is where the pressure is on for
das ist so geil, das Wort auszusprechen. Black Screen. Black Screen. Wir haben noch 5 Matches. Black Screen.
They seem to be having a pretty solid game so far. Great loadout. Great damage above the threshold, and they even have another player in their line of sights that they possibly could feel like is weak, especially when the wood comes out.
Ich hab so ein Gefühl auf Twitch hat man viel mehr Aufrufe. Zuschauer. Digga, was macht er an seiner Nase?
To recuperate it, but without a healthy duo partner, there's only so much you can do.
Ja.
6 above, deciding
what's
the play here to get a couple tags.
Oder nicht? Nee. So, jetzt.
That Thurn of Thunderburst SMG though, at a long range, it could be a bit difficult, but a medium close range is perfect. There it is. But now, still 62 below, 39 players up. Nate hunting.
Yeah, and you're seeing the massive difference in the threshold, over 250 above or below. Now he's only 11. That was a duo that got taken down. That was just right above.
5-4. Oh, der schon drin.
Easier for Nate and O-Lane to go ahead and try to go ahead and maneuver their way through this damage and this threshold while everything is going down around them. Nebs and iDrop enter the fray, getting elimination, a huge refresh on those mats. And when it comes to that, almost max metal for them both, so this could be an opportunity for them to try to take over high ground late in this game.
Archie with his duo partner here. Archie made their way into round 4. Looking strong.
Monkrein ist eine FN-Legend. Ist schon seit Anfang an da. Der Black Knight. Aber wenn er gewittert, ich denke eher nicht. Das weiß ich nicht.
Yeah, it's crucial that they stay to the front side of the zone. So teams like this that are trying to find their spot get no comfortability, even chases him down another layer of elevation, staying ahead of everybody else. And you see him peaking every single time. That was Pizoxy, one of our console superstars, making it this far into our top 250 as well.
Was macht da?
Somebody gets into the box. This is where things turn around. That's iDrop his way in and cheating, and Vortex go down. Huge play by iDrop and Nebs to take him out.
They were looking so healthy, but in the blink of an eye, they're back in the lobby. As Lucia and Carmi now are in more of a difficult situation with just 2 builds to work with. Going in though, finds a bit of materials, gets another shot, 99. It's not enough to crack them, but it's enough to get the elim, and there it is. That's 4 for Carmi. As he's recuperated just enough materials to make his way back into Storm.
This is where push comes to shove for a lot of these teams. And it looks bleak, back up against the wall. They find another elimination. Nebs, even with no build, sets his eyes forward into the future, finds another elimination. But this is where it's going to get tough. Everybody getting closer and closer together without builds, without resources. The medkit being used before the heal off as well. It's all about placement here for them. And if you look at the sky, it's Vispen and Wolf there as he drops down low to be the disruptor. Even with 3 medkits, the confidence to drop down low is huge.
Wolvax has confidence. He says, I think it's
Ich würde sagen, dass ich das zum Ende.
They can go back to fragging as Nebs iDrop. They're the ones in the dirt, and they're the ones that are going to get some action here soon.
Eigentlich will ich weiter streamen, Digga, aber ist doch schon zu spät und morgen wieder Schule, Digga.
It's not looking like the low ground's going to have much of a chance to play the heal off here. It's just full on action.
Yeah, they don't want to let it come down to where they're getting dropped on. They're trying to keep as much control over as possible. Even iDrop getting a few builds to work with. Something is better than nothing, and that could be the difference maker. His teammate goes down, but iDrop not only has those mats, but gets the siphon as well. 3 medkits onto Vispen. iDrop goes down. It's Fetty versus Vispen, but he's going to drop down low. He doesn't go back for the medkit heal off. He's trying to get as most out of it as possible before finally jumping.
War eine schlechte Idee, ich sag's so wie es ist.
Any heals to try to match this. Only time will tell as he's staying with the zone. No HP to regain. Just a few seconds of opportunity that goes right out the window as Vispen takes the game by force.
6 Punkte schon.
Did a great job there of making the correct decision to play the heal off, but his duo partner got me a little scared there. Dropped down. Wolvax with 2 medkits ended up getting eliminated and dropped.
Zeig jetzt mal Punkteanzahl, sonst werde ich richtig sauer.
Luckily enough though, they did not find them. They did not pick them up. And Wolvax was able to secure that victory royale.
Yeah, and you can see how close this tournament is to ending and how it's really affecting our players and their mentality. A lot of them may not like where they're positioned on the leaderboard, so they're getting very, very aggressive, picking up high elimination games just like this. And before going towards the backside of the zone, Luka Vispen had 6 eliminations by himself, 9 total as a team. Almost double digits, but they still picked up a huge amount of points at the tail end of the day. But let's throw it on over to our desk for another breakdown of these games.
Indeed, another victory royale, this time courtesy of Wolvax and Vispen.
Ja, wir sind alle gespannt, dass du uns zeigst, dass du echt Punktverlierer ist. Ja, 0 Punkte. Sag mal, wie schlecht der Wiesen und Vadia sind. Safe besser als Grams ist Savage. Guck mal, die sogar 50 Points in der Runde. Die nicht.
Pretty simple formula, mate. So this topic was weird as well because like, it felt like nobody else had medkits. Like, you know, you usually can see like the powers of Luton movers a couple of medkits.
74 Punkte in der Runde.
These guys were hogging them all. I think Jacob described Wolvax dropping down as confident. You know, I don't know if I'd use confident. You know, I thought it was almost a really bad.
Ja, jetzt wird wieder Punkte angezeigt. Ich würde sagen.
Takata called it and saying Vispen probably started screaming at him, yo, please come back up to height, I need the med kits, and they went out the game in the
end. Wann ist es endlich vorbei?
It did, yeah. I mean, we're looking at the last 60 minutes or so of time now to accumulate as many points as possible in this week one of Major One. You know, moments like that as well are going to be huge, aren't they, Levin?
Ist nicht mehr live.
You know, kind of get that Storms, get that.
Tommy just chasing down his opponents and was unrelenting in the pressure that he was able to apply. There was a few moments here where he had those builds, but of course in that mid-ground layer, this wouldn't give him any protection from that high ground, which ultimately resulted in him falling down there 11. He just needed to drop down.
Angezeigt, die Punkteanzahl.
Yeah, you know, it was nice at first.
Ich bin gespannt.
This might be one of the better clutches you've seen for a while, but yeah, ultimately, no matter what level of Fortnite.
Los, let's go. Zeig mir was. Zeig die Punktanzahl.
Sort of just caught up to him, but these guys are still doing really well. I think it's testament to how they've been in the standings overall. You're seeing them here really,
Monaco.
There's a name that have been sort of there and thereabouts all throughout the day.
Die sind hier nicht.
Got their hand locked in on their meta and
sind hier nicht angezeigt. Warte mal.
Yeah, they really are. You see 9 teams now have managed to supersede.
Das war's mit Monkrell und Mr. Savage.
Sustaining 282, but obviously they're out there right
now.
47 eliminations as well, Mini. I know we keep like looking at these stats here, but when you look comparatively to the rest of the league, almost 20 more than the team in second place there. That is such a difference maker, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes we see teams and players that are going for those high eliminations. They're not able to.
Das hier habe ich gesehen am Anfang.
Auf
mein Handy.
We shouldn't be surprised, right? They're one of the most experienced teams, two of the most experienced
players in the region.
Merstash winning the FNC as Malibuca yet to do so. So I want to see more of the same from them. I want to see more wins.
Yes, we definitely want to see that. Also, we want to see more of the duos we talked about at the top of the show as well. Of course we do. Thomas HD, Queasy, 2 names we know very, very well. They're out there right now.
Zeig mal.
Zeig mal die Punkte hier.
Digga, Monkrell, 4. Platz. Die 9. Achso, hier, vor 2 Stunden. Ich bin hier reingegangen. Die sind gestorben anscheinend. Die liegen noch mit 0 Punkten.
No, I do as well, and just seeing the loadout right now, you gotta...
There's a team on the hill in the west.
That sniper rifle, something he's been known for year after year, pound for pound, probably one of the best Europe does have to offer. It's just about giving him opportunities to use it. For now, I think they're just fine with their position, waiting to see where the zone goes before him and Queasy formulate their next rotation.
Tini Misha playing a little bit more chill, you know, checking out what's left over here in the vault, close to Grand Glacier. Does have that mythic Nemesis AR. Most likely has a medallion as well, but up in the mid-map objective, the island, it's Artist and Huddy here, who took out Yupko and Blaha. Unfortunate to go down in this part of the match. 5th zone. You use a lot of time in these formats where you play out 10 matches, and you don't get a lot of points, especially placement-wise. But for Artist and his duo partner, it's looking very bright now. Full materials, refreshed up, full heals. They're feeling good.
Seeing them right now where they're positioned deep inside of that house, it almost makes me wonder what kind of fight actually did go down. Typically on Loot Island, it stays towards the capture point, but somebody must have been on the chase for it to get that deep into the house. But nonetheless, huge victory to keep themselves going in this game, just like Casper and Prism. Just on the edge of zone, 2 more teams to the east of them, 1 more farther east, and even some position towards the west. And this is where they get to make that decision. Are they fine where they're at, currently positioned, or they want to rotate out? As we jump on board, a Victory Royale winner going up against Vidil, as Reason is already down, is already out. He's going to have to try to make something of nothing, but from what we've seen throughout Chapter 4 is this is the position in which he thrives in.
Benefici, Digga.
I might have called it too soon. Snow has already won a game, and he's ready for his next.
Snow in his natural habitat here. Feeling good, I mean...
Streamt er auch? Also ist er gerade live, oder?
And it's quite difficult to get a reboot.
Ja, spielt er gerade FNCS.
Anything is possible. Let's see how he made his opponent slip up here.
Is better than you in Fortnite, Digga.
To take out Vadilo was that one quick shot as the ramp edit came through.
Spielt das streng wieder.
His opponent.
Those are those moments, man, when you gotta get surprised and you just can't freeze up. You gotta keep things moving. You gotta keep
Digga, wie
things
viele?
For how on Vexy going back into the loop, replenishing some of those crash pads. Gotta imagine they have some sort of flow berry or fizz on the Vexy. Trying to make these crash pads that much more
Oha, krass.
Yep, they're gonna go for the spread crash pad. They're about to fly like a couple of birds.
Die sterben mit 0 Punkten.
I love the rotates. I mean, especially when you see that combination of the flow berries and the crash pad.
Bruder, ich weiß ja nicht.
At the same time, you also open yourself up.
Wieso so schlecht?
And with players like Thomas HD in the lobby, who has that Reaper in hand.
My bad.
I mean, I'd be scared, Jacob. Personally, I don't know how I'd be feeling flying around. But Marco, Fire Bro, I mean, they're relaxed. Could be watching us right now. I mean, who knows? He's sitting there looking at his ramp, and there it is. Now it's time. Get that rotate on.
Leute, ich würde sagen, das war's mit dem Stream. Leider nicht bis zum Ende geschaut, aber ich bin schon eine Stunde live. Nächste Woche kommt dann wieder der nächste Livestream auf dem Kanal. Es kommen keine Streams mehr. Check auf jeden Fall meinen Kanal heute ab. Habe ich heute noch ein Video hochgeladen von Chapter 4. Ja, du lasst Like, Abo da auf den Kanal, auf Danielobang-LIVE und wir sehen uns dann nächste Woche im Stream. Haut rein.